What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again, always with another one. And yes, indeed, it is another one. So yeah, we're at this point here. And some of the leaders in Africa, especially I think it's one of the former presidents of Nigeria, if I'm correct, spoke out about some things. And he pretty much told them about themselves over in Africa. It's crazy though. It's crazy. He pretty much told them about themselves. And yeah, it's it's pretty enlightening. But we're gonna go here first. We're gonna kick this off with Trump talking about the situation where they're not sending the condoms over to Hamas and shit. So all right, let's go here now. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
And somehow, for whatever reason, created Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid have not been affected by any action we're taking in any way, shape, or form. We are merely looking at parts of the big bureaucracy where there has been tremendous waste and fraud and abuse. In that process, we identified and stopped $50 million being sent to Gaza to buy condoms for Hamas. 50 million. And you know what's happened to them? They've used them as a method of making bombs. How about that? We stopped an attempt to make an illicit payment for illegal alien resettlement. We canceled $181 million in DEI training contracts. This is just for the training of people in DEI, which has been terminated and completely terminated. And we paused $1.7 billion in unauthorized payments to foreign organizations, including stopping more than $40 million that was on its way out the door to the very corrupt World Health Organization, which has not done its job and not done it properly. We also blocked $45 million for diversity scholarships in Burma. 45, that's a lot of money for diversity scholarships in Burma. You can imagine where that money went. These were the types of payments and many others. I could stand here all day and tell you things that we found, and we have to find them quickly because we want the money to flow to proper places. But these were the payments and types of payments affected by the temporary freeze, and the American people strongly support these efforts. I talked about it during the campaign, and they voted for us in record numbers.
Right. Shout out to that.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Shout out to that. Yes, we did. No longer yes, we can. It's yes, we did. Sure did. All right. So we're gonna keep this thing going. And guess what, man? I'm telling you now. It's crazy out here. So we're going to go here to this situation here. And this gentleman right here is Dr. Gene. I can't pronounce the last name, but listen, look, he's part of the situation over in Africa, public health in Africa. So let's see what he had to say about this situation, okay?
The Director General at the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Dr. Sayah, thank you so much for taking the time. And it's a critical moment. I know how PEPFAR sort of changed the fight against HIV/AIDS from where I come from in South Africa. It affects many African countries. You've got the suspension of US aid for 9.
Yes, before they continue, yes, in South Africa, AIDS is rampant. It's way more higher than here in the U.S. It's way more higher. I don't know what's going on out there. I guess due to heat, things like that. Of course, when very hot temperatures escalate any type of diseases or colds or anything like that. So yeah, I can see it. Let's keep going.
90 days. And in his executive order, President Trump claimed that U.S. foreign aid and bureaucracy isn't aligned with American interests and American values. Tell me why it is important for America to fund these kind of programs, specifically PEPFAR and generally anything to do with the medical industry.
Thank you so much for having me, Eleni. Let me start by saying that in Africa, we are grateful for the support that we are getting from the US government, mostly in the health area. that I'm leading in the continent. Just if we need to give an idea, in 2024, we got $8 billion of support from the US to African continent, and 73% went to the health sector. It means today the US is the main partner that we have bilaterally and also multilaterally through a number of organs and organizations. What we see as a trend today in Africa, it's not just the pause from the US government, but it's also the reduction from assistance from other Western countries. And that one is a major threat to not only Africa, but to the world. And as Africa CDC is projecting with this trend to have around 2 to 4 million additional deaths annually. And that one will also increase the likelihood occurrence of pandemics. This is why we think that we need to continue.
So Dr. Kaseya, Dr. Kaseya, I want to talk about the Mpox breakouts. I want to talk about the Marburg virus, and if there isn't funding to try and ensure that these breakouts don't spread, what that means for the rest of the world and for America in particular.
When I declared Mpox public health emergency of continental security in Africa in August 2024, we had only 6 countries. Today, we have 21 countries affected. And out of $1 billion pledged by partners, including $520 million from the US, we only got 47% of this money. Without funding, this Mpox that is affecting almost around 45% of African countries will continue to spread. Don't forget that Mpox in 2021 affected the US, Europe, and other continents. There is a huge risk if we don't get this funding pledged by Western countries that Mpox can even become a next pandemic.
So Mpox is, I don't know exactly what that is. I haven't done the research on that. I brought this to you guys because I want to hear what the gentleman had to say, because it all coincides with the funding situation that Trump is putting on pause for the rest of the world. Now, this is the thing here. They've been getting these, what he said, 8 billion at one point. So they've been getting tremendous amounts of funding. Why haven't they figured out a decent cure or some type of vaccine for set? I mean, 8 billion, Jesus Christ. And I'm pretty sure that 8 billion is not the only actual amount of money that they've been getting throughout this whole time. And the reason why Trump is probably pausing a lot of this money is because, a lot of the paper trail is messed up. And nobody really knows if these people are using this money technically for these situations. And this is where he's pausing it, trying to get investigators in there, trying to figure out what's really going on, trying to get on phones. Okay, who's doing what? How much money does this cost for this and that? It just is what it is. But I get him, a lot of, you're talking about a pandemic, another one. Okay. So, let's just keep going. Let's see what's going on here now.
That is an absolutely terrifying prospect. So you're saying even the freezing of these funds for 90 days could have massive global ramifications, and it needs to continue. So what are you going to do to try and fill that vacuum that you're facing?
Okay, now hold on. If it's only the freeze for 90 days, and you mean to tell me y'all don't have enough funding to keep things going for 90 days? Hold on.
So what the French toast is there to think
for
about?
90 days. And this is the issue that I think that we're talking about here, is about, where's all this money being that was 8 billion. I'm pretty sure they've gotten more than 8 billion. And come on now. You can't keep things going for 90 days.
Right now.
While I'm calling the US to consider additional exemptions to the 90-day pause on its foreign assistance to ensure continued delivery of critical emergency response activities, I'm also hoping that the pause will be lifted promptly. I want to say that I'm prepared to travel to the US to engage with the new administration in discussions about enhancing collaboration in the health sector between Africa and the US on our shared and mutual interests, because this one is what is putting us together as human beings in the same planet.
So I want to turn our attention to what we're seeing in the Eastern DRC and M23 rebels in Goma right now. There are many people that are displaced. Actually, over many years, it's said that over 7 million people have been displaced. You're very concerned about the health situation right now. Hospitals are overwhelmed. What conversations are you having with policymakers to try and ensure that things don't get out of control there? What's your biggest fear right now?
I know Goma. Goma is a city of 3 million people, including 1 million displaced individuals living in an area of 75 square kilometers. That means a population density of around 39,620 people per square kilometer. If we need to consider Goma as a country, it will be one of the highest population density in the world. But what we saw also in Goma, and it's important for CNN, people are following CNN to know that end of 2023, a new variant of Mpox called Clade 1B was identified in this region. And this variant is mostly, the factors of this variant are mostly internal displacement due to armed conflict, overcrowded displacement camps, and increased human mobility due to insecurity. Today, what is happening in Goma can lead for a chaotic situation that can even result to a major pandemic. Because
Okay, listen, look. All right. I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research on this Mpox situation that he's talking about, but at the same time, though, too. Listen, look, I understand why the foreign aid is being on pause. 90 days, be honest with you, I would think that these people who's been getting all this foreign aid for all these years now, this, what I'm saying, this is not, they didn't just start getting this. I would think that they would be prepared to hold off for at least 90 days, let America get its shit together and things like that. But you know what? Who really knows what's going on? And I think that's part of the problem. What Trump is trying to figure out, where's this money really going? Because he's saying, like, just no funding for 90 days would create a fucking pandemic. And that's just, like, if they don't get the funding for 90 days, it's going to, the world's going to come to an end, basically. This is wild right here. All right. So we're going to keep going. And we're going to go here now. And we're going to see what the ex-president of, I believe it's Nigeria had to say. Hold on here. So let's go here now. My bad. Let's rewind. Let's go here now.
We're back here in Africa, where former Kenya President Uhuru Kenyatta has criticized African leaders for lamenting U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to freeze foreign aid, including the president's emergency plan for AIDS relief. Speaking at the East African Region Global Health Security Summit in Mombasa, Kenyatta urged leaders to shift from dependency and instead focus on self-sufficiency. He questioned why African nations should expect U.S. support when they do not contribute to its tax system.
Damn.
I saw some people the other day crying, I don't know, Trump has removed money. He said he's not giving us any more money. Watu wanalia. Why are you crying? It's not your government, it's not your country. He has no reason to give you anything. I mean, hey, you don't pay taxes in America. He is appealing to his people. Shauri yenu bwana. Yeah? This is a wake-up call for you to say, okay, what are we going to do to help us?
Right. Hey, listen.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Listen, look. I don't know whether this gentleman's term was up and he can't run anymore or anything like that, but it seems to me that he's a very logical thinking man. Man, what he just told them people. I don't know why you're sitting around here crying. Why are you crying? Because Donald Trump is appealing to his people and you get no more foreign aid. Why aren't we trying to do for ourselves? Listen, look, yes. That makes perfect fucking sense. I don't know about y'all out there. That makes good sense to me. But all I'm saying is, though, I get it. Don't get me wrong. Listen, look, if we can help, then I think we should help. But at the same time, though, too, we need to know exactly where this funding is going to, what it's used for, down to every cent. We need to know what our taxpayer dollars are being flown out to these other countries and stuff and what's going on with our money. And, you know, whether a lot of people like this or not, I'm sorry, we all pay taxes, whether you like what Trump is doing or not. You're still paying taxes in this country. And that's our tax money that is getting shipped over to these other countries and stuff like that for research or whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, they just stopped a bunch of condoms from going to Gaza, you know what I'm saying, to build destructive weapons. You know, this is ridiculous. What was it, like 50 million to Gaza for condoms? Are you kidding me out there? And we know ain't nan one of them dudes over there getting no ass.
So what the French toast is there to think
The
about?
hell you talking about? 50 million for condoms. Y'all stupid idiots in America barely use that many damn condoms. What are we talking about here? This is ridiculous, bro. And you know, this president, the former president here, Harut, you know, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right, but you know, Jesus, man, he actually on point with this situation right here. This is crazy that we would sit here and allow something like this to go on and things like that all these years. And yeah, he telling us people plain and clear, listen, look, man, you know, we got to do for ourselves now. Now, Africa is full of resources, whether we like this truth or not. They got gold, all types of stuff that comes from Africa, or all types of things. They got resources out there. They got resources to tap into if they actually, you know what I'm saying, they actually kick certain people out, but that's neither here nor there.
Ourselves. Instead of crying, tujiulize, what are we going to do? Haya, ametoa hiyo pesa, sasa tutafanya namna gani jameni? What are we going to do? Yeah? To support ourselves. Because nobody is going to continue holding out a hand there to give you. It is time for us to use our resources for the right things. We are the ones who are using them for the wrong things.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Listen, look, I'm going to go here and I'm going to let you see something. I didn't plan on this thing going that long, but this has to be shown. It's another angle to this situation here that I think we all need to see. And hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. Sorry, guys, but I think this really needs to be seen. And it's the same president, but the same president of Africa, but he's talking to a lot of people at the same time. Hold on. Let's see. I think this is it. Hold on. I think this is it. All right. So I'm about to go here now, and we're about to show you guys this part because I think it needs to be seen. Yeah. This is going to be a video that's a little bit longer than I expected. But okay, let's go here now.
At the 2025 East Africa Regional Global Health Security Summit in Mombasa, former President Uhuru Kenyatta called out African leaders for their over-dependence on foreign aid, arguing that their reaction to the United States withdrawal is unwarranted, exposing a lack of self-sufficiency.
People the other day crying, oh, I don't know, Trump has removed money. He said he's not giving us any more money. Watu wanalia. Why are you crying? It's not your government, it's not your country. He has no reason to give you anything. I mean, hey, you don't pay taxes in America. He is appealing to his people. Shauri yenu bana.
Yes, and about the taxes, real talk, people, like I said before, we are paying the taxes that our government has been sending all this money out, all these other places around the world. And we got veterans at home that can't even get a proper place to live. We got people on the streets ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We have to sweep around our own front door. And this is what Trump actually sees. And this is the problem right here that's been going on. We've been allowing too much of our money to just float out into the atmosphere somewhere. And these people around the world just been taking it and doing God knows what with it. And that's been the issue, the reason why he wants to audit the United States government out here.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
It's just been going to who knows what, where, when, who knows who's getting this money. Dude just told y'all, the doctor just said that it, you know, if we cut off the funding for just 90 days, it would damn near be a world pandemic out here. This is crazy. This is crazy. So you mean to tell me just 90 days of America trying to correct itself and figure out our finances over here is going to put the world in another pandemic in 90 damn days? Y'all don't have the proper tools and the proper things to keep everything contained for 90 days. You're not making any damn sense. And y'all getting $8 billion and plus other stuff. I guarantee you they get more than $8 billion over periods of time. Come on, man. That was just in 1 year, the $8 billion. I think it was what, 23? What he said? Come on, man. Let's keep going.
Yeah? This is a wake-up call for you to say, okay, what are we going to do to help ourselves?
Right.
Instead of crying. Yeah?
This comes after US President Donald Trump signed executive orders imposing a 90-day freeze on foreign aid spending. The freeze affects ongoing programs, including the president's emergency plan for AIDS relief and USAID initiatives, potentially disrupting global efforts to combat tuberculosis. Here, Uhuru challenged African leaders to instead find sustainable ways to finance their own healthcare needs, including investing in vaccine production.
And also as Africans.
Now, hold on. TB, be honest with you, though, we don't have TB running rampant in the United States like, you know, it used to. TB used to be a huge problem. Definitely back in the Western days, stuff like that, you know. So, yeah, we kind of combated TB over. I don't know why we just don't send the information to stamp out TB over. Jesus, man. All this is so crazy. That's the point. Like, where's all this funding going to? Where's all this information going to?
Not to wait for others to come to our rescue. So, my friends, any future pandemic that comes, don't think anybody out there is going to come and look up. They'll look after themselves first. Then if there's any surplus, bas mutapatiwa ile mebaki. Funding for this has to come from ourselves.
He further urged African nations to prioritize resources for essential sectors instead of diverting them into wars and conflicts.
All across the Sahel, all across the continent, we have
shout out to that. He want to stop the wars over there. Hey, listen, look.
The French toast is there to think about.
Shout out to him for that. Wars are a huge succubus to any type of decent society. Wars can drain a society of all its resources and things like that. Wars are a hindrance from actually living like decent human beings.
Actually lost more people to bullets fired by Africans on Africans.
Damn.
Than we actually lost to the coronavirus.
Harry.
That sounds like something at home, don't it?
Get Chimera, K24.
All right. So that sounds like something that happens over here in America. You know what I'm saying? What do you say? We lost more people to bullets in war than we did to the coronavirus. That sounds like something that's going on over here, right? Especially with us black people.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
Especially with the black community. Yeah. Sounds familiar, don't it? Man, all right. It is what it is, though. You know what I'm saying? Listen, look, man, I'm all on board with this, man. We had to shut certain things down, man, so we could figure out where the fuck our tax money going and has been going for decades. This is crazy, bro. We not trillions upon trillions. Last thing was like 40 trillion, something like that, maybe give or take. And we're in debt over here. And then we steadily trying to shove out money for other crap and stuff like that, saving other people around the world when we barely could save ourselves over here nowadays. And this is just where we at. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.